It's me, Surya, your favorite sewing friend. I only have like 5 followers, so today I am going to chat to you about my process on how to upcycle old men's jeans into women's jeans, or mom jeans as they put them. I've been using the Megan Nielsen Dawn Jeans pattern. Here it is. It comes with 4 options: tapered leg, a straight leg, a wide leg, and a pair of shorts. I decided to use the tapered leg version, so view A. I found the pattern really easy to use, really easy to follow up until certain points, but I'll get into that. I think if you want to use this method of upcycling old men's jeans and turning them into new jeans, I would highly recommend it. You're saving the environment by using materials that we already have instead of buying new materials. I was considering going to just buy some new denim fabric from like Spotlight or something to make these jeans, but I don't know, I couldn't find the type of denim that I wanted, and like old men's jeans have already been worn in. They've already got that faded look or whatever look you want. There's no need for you to wash the denim later on and, you know, distress it or anything like that, because it's already been distressed or washed for you. I was actually inspired to do this upcycling project by Ada Sprague. Anyway, she's a really cool sewer. She has a lot of things that she makes, and she has like, her aesthetic is really nice. I get inspired by her. And basically she used the same pattern to upcycle some old men's jeans into new jeans. So I was inspired by her and I decided to try it out myself. This is my first foray into jeans making, so it was pretty hard, and I decided, I think upcycling jeans as well and turning them into new jeans it just makes it harder on you, because when you start to upcycle, you keep thinking that you're going to recycle a lot of the parts of the jeans, and I managed to salvage a lot of it. So these are all the scraps that I have left from the project. I used pretty much everything, and this is all that I have left. So if you're going to upcycle jeans, first you need to invest in some pliers. So I've got these diagonal pliers, and I also have these long nose pliers. So this is just this one is to rip out the rivets on the pockets and things like that. All the rivets, you need to rip them out. And this one is for installing new rivets, and also maybe for ripping out the old rivets, but for installing new ones, because you need to clip back the rivet before you hammer it in. I got these little mini ones. I would suggest getting, like, this is fine, but I would suggest getting a more heavy duty diagonal plier to cut the rivets, because this is a little bit too weak. It's not blunt. It's not sharp enough to continuously cut metal, so I would get something more heavy duty than this tiny guy. So you also need top stitching thread, you also need some denim needles or jeans needles, regular thread, and a seam ripper. So I decided to seam rip these old jeans. They weren't big enough for me to just cut up the sides and just do it that way, or just cut it like, yeah. I wanted to have as much fabric as I possibly could, so that I could maximize all of the fabric and make sure I had enough fabric when I was placing all the pattern pieces on them. So I had to seam rip everything, and then I ironed it all out, and that worked fairly well. I had to make this style cropped so that I could use part of the cropped the leftover fabric to create the new fly front and part of that, all that kind of stuff. When you're upcycling and reusing jean material, you just have to do a little bit of like jigsaw puzzle placement in order to make sure that everything fits and you have enough material to put everything together. Seam ripping was probably the most tiring part of this whole experience. It took me like a whole week because I was just slow and lazy, but I eventually got there in the end. So I'm just warning you, if you're going to do this type of project and you're going to upcycle something, you're going to take time seam ripping everything, because jeans are pretty hard to seam rip. They're very well made, and really, this was like a black pair of jeans as well, so it was really hard like trying to find the threads in there. They all look kind of the same, but it turned out okay. I managed to get there in the end. It just took a while, so just be patient. So part of upcycling jeans is that you get to recycle a lot of the jeans already. I made the mistake in thinking that I could recycle a lot of them, like the whole front side of the jeans. I thought I could recycle that and not remove any of the pockets. The back of part of the jeans, I thought I could recycle that as well and not remove the back pockets. But I would recommend just seam ripping everything. So take off the back pockets, take out the front pockets and all that kind of stuff. Take out all the rivets, because as soon as you start jigsaw puzzling everything together, things start to move, and so you'll find that things don't sit right when you start to put them together, which is what I found. Also, if you intend to try, like I did, to recycle some of the rivets and the jeans button, because in my mind I was like, yeah, you can recycle rivets. People recycle rivets, right? And buttons. You can't recycle rivets or buttons. This is what happened to my rivets. They are 100% mangled, very, very mangled, all mangled, like this. What is this? It's just a clump. They all just came out like clumps. So no, you can't recycle rivets. I think sometimes if you manage to pull them out properly like this, oh no, that's not it. Some of them got pulled out properly, but I definitely just mangled all of them. You also can't recycle jean buttons. So this is the original jean button. And as you can see, like the little jean button nail, it gets stuck in there, so you can't really pull it out. Yeah, so don't even bother trying to recycle rivets and jeans buttons. You will waste so much time, like I did, trying to recycle those types of hardware. So you might as well just get new ones. I don't know where you guys are, but in Australia we have a company called MRECH Accessories. And basically you can buy all the burrs and the rivets from this place. It comes in packs of 100, and I think the jean buttons are packs of 10. So it wasn't expensive, like you just have to bear in mind that you'll be buying them in bulk. So this is in packs of 100. It was only like $16 each. One for burrs, one for rivets, and then also for buttons and the button nails. So I got that. The shipping on this place is really fast. They were like super quick with getting, I like ordered them on the weekend and then they shipped it on Monday and it arrived on the Tuesday. So yeah, I was like pretty impressed with their level of dispatch. Top stitching thread, jean needles. Oh yes, jean needles, I did mention that. You need some jean needles. I just used the Schmetz jeans needles. Where are they? Ah, here they are. So I've got some Schmetz jeans needles, just because jeans are a little bit tougher, so you might want to get some stronger needles, and they have jeans needles for this very purpose. And ow. Oh, and you might want to invest in a jeweler's block or a block of some kind to between the surface of your table and the hammer that you will be using to smack in the rivets and jeans buttons, because don't be like me, guys, and think you can do it on the fly just on your table, because you will put a hole in your table like I did. So I have a hole in my table now because of that experience. Also, don't think that it's a good idea to use a book like I did, because books are kind of squishy and they're not a hard surface, they're a squishy surface. And if you're going to smack it onto a book like I did, you will definitely have a wonky button. So yeah, use a hard surface and maybe put a cloth down to prevent your surface being, you know, wrecked like it was for me. Oh, I also forgot to mention that because this is a high-waisted style, most jeans, like men's jeans, are not high-waisted, they're just normal waisted. So I tried to recycle the zip, but yeah, it's not long enough. Like they want you to have like at least a 16 to 17 centimeter zip before the high-waisted style, and I think this one was only like 14 centimeters. So you'll probably have to get a zip, a new zip. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So the first step is to purchase the pattern online. I got Megan Nielsen's 4-in-1 Dawn Jeans pattern online, the PDF version, for $24. You get 4 options. So as I said, tapered, wide, straight, and a pair of shorts. It's pretty good quality. I was pretty happy with the amount of options I have. So I think my next jeans upcycling will be a straight leg or a wide leg version. So then after you do that, you know, you do all the things. You print it out, you stick it together, and then she recommends to keep the pattern intact, you will need to trace it off onto another bit of paper. So you should probably get some tracing paper if you have some. If not, then you're pretty confident you can just like cut it out. But you know, you need to measure your waist, measure your hip, work out what size you are. I was actually in between-ish sizes. So I was a size 12 at the bottom in my hips and a size 10 at the waist. So you just need to grade in between sizes. Megan Nielsen has a blog post on how to do that. It's pretty straightforward. You just kind of curve it up into the next size. And then I think I may have done it wrong though, because I ended up taking out like 4 centimeters from the yoke and the waistband anyway. I feel like I did it wrong, but yeah. So at many points along the way, there's like time where you can try on the jeans anyway. So if you're unsure, you know, most normal people would make like a twill or a sample first and then try it on to make sure the fit was good. But you know, I live life on the edge and I just decided to cut into things on the fly. So that's what happened. I had to do a lot of adjustments. So by the time I got to the end, I had to take out more against the waistband, and I had already put in all the top stitching and everything. Had to like seam rip that, and then I had to sort of just go down the back and make it smaller. But yeah, whatever ease that was left in these jeans is no longer there. So they're very tight. But I'm wearing them now and they're like starting to stretch out. This is like maybe the 3rd or 4th time that I've started to wear them. So yeah, you know, after you get the pattern, you've like measured yourself out, you've like, you know, graded between sizes and everything. Then you just sort of get your seam ripped stuff and just kind of place it everywhere to try and make sure that it fits. Again, I would recommend getting, you know, the biggest size of jeans you possibly can find, just so it makes it easier for you. Mine was like just a little bit bigger than the pattern pieces, so I could like squeeze them together. But yeah, it turned out okay-ish. The first step is then, after you've cut out all your pieces and everything, you create the fly front. So I got super confused at this point in time. It's not even it's like the first step and I'm like, wait, what am I doing? How do I do this? If you watch any of my previous videos, I'm always like, read the instructions, guys. Read the instructions beforehand and you'll be fine. Do I do that myself? No, I don't. I just do it as I go. I read it as I go, and bad things happen. So basically I started doing the fly front and I got really confused, and it's the first time I was doing a fly front, so I just completely forgot that you have like a fly and then a fly extension. So the fly gets sewn onto one side of the front leg, and then the fly extension gets sewn onto the other side of the front leg. But I don't know what I was doing, or maybe my brain just wasn't working at that time of night, so I just skipped like an entire section and was like, fly extension doesn't exist, and then just concentrated on the fly. And then by the time I finished it, I just ended up sewing the 2 pieces together without the fly extension, and then everything looked super wrong. And yeah, I had to seam rip that all again and do it all over again. But I got there, all thanks to Megan Nielsen's blog post about how to sew a fly front zip on not the Dawn jeans, but the Ash jeans. So she's got like a whole bunch of resources on her website about like sew alongs and things to create a fly front and a waistband and all that kind of stuff. So I had to look into that. It was very useful, very helpful. She has lots of pictures. I always get confused with sewing instructions just because they are illustrations, and illustrations, you know, they're very detailed, but I don't know, my brain just not triggered by that. I need to see like proper pictures of things or videos in order to properly comprehend a lot of things if I haven't done it for the first time. So her blog post on how to create a fly front was really helpful. I'll leave a link in the description box below on where the fly front zip blog is, and also there's like a whole heap of YouTube tutorials from other people that talk about how to make a fly front zip, so you're in good hands, it's okay. So then after I managed to figure out how to do the fly front zip, I then went about sewing the crotch area on the other side. And again, I probably should just, you know, read the instructions, but I didn't do that. There's a part where like you sew up the crotch area, and then if there's a gap at the top, that's okay because you're just gonna top stitch it anyway and it's gonna be closed. But I didn't read that in the instructions where she said it's okay to have a gap. I was just like, why is there a gap? And then I just tried to sew it good to close up the gap, and it like the fly front just ended up looking really bunched up and strange. So I had to unpick that and then do it all again. Why? So after I've managed to get the front good, fly front and the top stitching and the crotch and stuff relatively okay looking, it was then time to work on the pockets. And I think the pockets were actually the best part about this whole sewing process. I really enjoyed making the pockets. Like I mentioned, I tried to not touch the pockets at all and just keep the originals so I wouldn't have to like do anything about those. But yeah, it just, the pattern pieces I just knew that it was going to turn out bad. So I seam ripped it all and then like re-jigsawed everything so I could do the pattern like how Megan Nielsen says to. And yeah, I just reconstructed all the pockets. So that was really fun. I kept the original pocket bags from the original jeans. They're a little bit manky, you know, like cotton, kind of grossish in color, like this type of material. But I think if you were making these jeans from scratch and not upcycling, you could choose some really fun pocket lining, like patterned ones or something like that. But I just decided to go with what was already there that I had. And yeah, I just had to trim the pockets a little because I didn't have Megan Nielsen's pockets are a bit bigger than what I had on the original jeans. So I trimmed that, put all the pockets together. I did like a whole bunch of top stitching and things like that. The pockets were the best part. I was like, you know, clipping into the curve and everything. Yeah, I really enjoyed the pockets. So I was at this point in time when I was doing the pockets that I actually realized that my brother machine was dying on me because it was stitching straight on the top, but then it was stitching wonky on the bottom. And I don't know why. I don't know. It's a very old machine, so I have no idea where it went wrong, what I did to it. I tried to pull it apart at one point and like fiddle around to see what was wrong with it. I probably made it worse. Yes, so it started to break on me. And that's when I decided to take out my friend's sewing machine, which is a Janome. I had initially, like, she just gave it to me as safekeeping because she had no space for it in her house. And I was like, okay, whatever, not thinking that I would ever use it, but thank God I have it because it's so good. Like, I actually like this machine a lot more than my brother machine. It is a Janome one-step model 2319S. It's kind of old. I had trouble with the bobbin because it's one of those bobbins in a bobbin kind of situations. So I was like trying to figure out how to work it because I'm like, the needle isn't going down. But I figured it out. So it works now and I love it. So I'm just gonna keep using your machine, B. I will take good care of it. Hopefully she never asked for it back. So I fixed the whole like wonky stitches thing by just using another machine. After you put together the pockets, you need to then put together the yoke and stick it onto the back of the jeans. So this is where I tell you to just seam rip everything because I initially kept the pockets on at the back, and once I sewed them together and everything and put the yoke on, the pockets sort of looked a little mismatched, like they didn't line up properly and there was like weird gaps. So I just seam ripped it all and then repositioned the pockets so they would look less wonky. And so after doing the pockets and the yoke and top stitching all of that, you then start to sew up the inseam. So that's like, you know, the crotch area inside your inside leg inseam. And then I like noticed that the hem wasn't lining up, but I just continued to sew. I was like, oh, the hem's not lining up. It didn't even cross my mind to just like, you know, stop, check, read the instructions. I just pinned it and then sewed it. Why? I don't know why I did that. Like, so stupid. I should have, yeah. And so when I tried them on, obviously the side leg was twisting inwards. It's like, it fit really well, but the side leg, side seam was starting to twist inwards. And I was like, why is this happening? And then I like looked it up online and everything, and everyone was like, yeah, it's probably because you need to e-stitch in between, you know, whatever notch and whatever notch. So yeah, maybe I should have notched where the notches were. And then I had to unpick it all, and I, you know, did it all again. I did an e-stitch in between, like where the notches are on your knees to your crotch. I had to, you know, e-stitch that part in. I did a really bad job. It's kind of all bunched up and stuff. But yeah, it still worked out relatively okay. But yes, notches are very important, guys. Please, pro sewers, please don't come at me and be like, you fool, you didn't notch. Because I already know I should probably be notching things or taking notice of the notches. But yes, again, my brain, I don't know. I'm just like, what? Let's just sew it. Who knows? Why is this not lining up? I think I'll just sew it. It's fine, right? It's fine. No, when things don't line up, you need to unpin them and then figure out why. And yeah, you need to notch. Take note of the notches, guys. So then after the whole e-stitching debacle / no notches debacle, I was finishing off my seams, and I managed to, I don't know, I went over a bump or lump or something, and I broke my overlocker. I broke a needle in my overlocker, which then proceeded to actually be an actual thing that broke my overlocker. I think I must have dislodged something, because now it just does not want to make loops. It does not want to thread. So I had changed the needles, I'd repositioned the needles, I'd rethreaded it 1,000 times. And yeah, it's just not wanting to do the thing that it wants to do, like make like stitches. It doesn't want to do it. So I have to find someone to help me with that. I think it might be something to do with the timing. I kind of looked inside it, and yeah. Oh, someone's calling me. Okay, I've forgotten what I was saying now. Oh, my cat is here. She's sitting close to me because she wants to sit in this seat, but I'm sitting in this seat, and that's why she's sitting close to me. It's not because she likes me. Yes, what I was talking about. Yes, I know how to like, I now have to get someone to actually look at the overlocker. Yep, so that has been 2 machines now that these jeans that I've been making have ruined. It's been an adventure, guys, an adventure. After that overlocker dyeing thing, I had to, I just finished the seams with a zigzag stitch. And then the next step was to put together the waistband. I recycled the little belt loops that came with the original jeans. There were 6 of them on the original jeans, and Megan Nielsen's pattern, she has 5. So I also recycled the waistband of the original jeans because I wanted to recycle the buttonhole because I did not know how to make a buttonhole with this machine. I'm sure it has better buttonhole capabilities than my brother machine, because I definitely always stuff up buttonholes. I tried to, yeah, just recycle the waistband so I could recycle the buttonhole. So I did that, and I didn't really follow the instructions properly. There is a blog post on how to attach waistband to your jeans by Megan Nielsen on her blog. But yeah, I just basically just got the waistband and plunked it on. And then I top stitched it, and that was it. And then the jeans turn out good-ish, relatively good. They're still a little bit wonky. I think the fly front looks the worst because the fly front is kind of pulling to one side a little, and so you can see the zip, but yeah, I'm still wearing them now. So yep, that's what happened. So as you can see, they're here. They're like pulling a little, so you can see a bit of the zip. Whoops. But yeah, it's good. Actually, yeah, I've been wearing these for like a couple of days now and they seem to have stretched out a bit. So I think next time round when I make these jeans, I'll make them a little bit longer because they are a bit too cropped. Like when they said cropped, like they mean cropped. I think I'll make them so that they sit just above the ankle. I want to make like a straight leg or a wide leg jean. So I need to get a bigger pair of jeans to upcycle. Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, the best part about upcycling jeans is that you already have the guidelines for all the top stitching that you need to do. You know, you've got the pockets, top stitching, those are already done. Like the waistband has top stitching in that and you can already see those top stitching lines. Just because of all the indents, wear and tear of the jeans, yeah, it's naturally, you can see all the top stitching, so you don't really need to draw out any guidelines. Also the best part is that you can recycle all the pockets, like the back pockets, so you don't need to redo those again. Belt loops you can also recycle. Yeah, I think there's a lot of pros to upcycling jeans. It just takes a little longer than if you were to cut straight from brand new denim fabric. So I think overall the Megan Nielsen pattern was really straightforward and easy to follow. It was both easy and difficult, I would say. Like there are elements of it that were really straightforward and then the fly front for me was the most difficult part. So yes, that was my experience making jeans for the very first time. I think if you're going to be making jeans for the first time like me and you don't want it to be super hard and confusing, I would just use new denim fabric that you buy from the store so everything is the right size. I decided to upcycle jeans, so that does involve a little bit more brain work, I guess, to fit everything together and make sure that yeah, things work out well. Did mine work out well? Not really. I mean, I made them and I wear them. They're not very good, but I'm still gonna wear them anyway. I think for my next round of jeans making, I will try to do it better because I have some light grayish denim. Yeah, light grey denim, and like the top stitching is going to be very noticeable on those, so I need to be extra careful. Yeah, let's see how that goes because I am the worst when it comes to sewing. So if you found this pattern review useful in some way and it inspires you to create your own jeans, upcycled or not upcycled, yeah, hit that subscribe button below to follow me for more sewing adventures, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!